My hair, bro. My hair raggedy. We gotta take care of my hair. We gotta take care of my hair. All right, we are live. If you are watching this, clicked onto this, is because you saw something in relationship to the military. I am prior military. I am prior military. Oh, good crap. So I retired, on Christmas Day, which was pretty beautiful. Didn't plan that out, but it happens that I just retired on Christmas Day. The title: Don't join the military if dot 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 dot. I think this is only appropriate because I've had time to decompress from the military. It's February 15, 2024. I retired December 25th, 2023, and I've had time to regain some old me. It ain't even old me. I think it's just me this whole entire time. But I've had time to reflect. So I'm just gonna dig into these questions that I wrote down. Um, and stick with me. If you got comments, put them down. I might answer them. I'll probably answer them. I got time. Why should you not join? Why you should not join? Okay, why you should not join? There's a lot of reasons. It's it's a commitment to something that you probably never done before physically and let alone mentally. I think there's a lot of mental things that you really have to overcome initially. Like once you're in it, because you have a group of individuals with you, a lot of stuff that you might have had some pushback on, you will become comfortable doing it. You'll become comfortable in the environment that you're in. Boot camp itself, it's for the longest one is the Marine Corps. I'm prior Marine. Ooh, that sounds weird. I'm a retired Marine. How about that shit? So boot camp, 3 months. Is it long? I think it's not as long as it could be. It could be a lot longer, to be honest with you. But it's right around that time frame of growth for a lot of individuals who are in a family that is either one well put together or broken. It is the one place that you'll go and you'll be equivalent or and equal to everybody else around you. Like you don't have nothing to your name other than your pride and your will to succeed and the effort that you want to put in to be part of this team. That is one thing that I took away from boot camp that I didn't initially think would happen. So if you're having thoughts about joining and you're apprehensive about it, I gotta let you know that it is a commitment to something that you've never done before, and that's okay. Look, man, it's okay to get into something that you've never done before, but I'm gonna let you know right now, like all boot camps are hard, mentally, physically. The Air Force is hard, the Navy's hard, Army's hard. Actually, Coast Guard got one of the more difficult boot camps physically wise. Like from a physical standpoint, Coast Guard will whoop your ass, and of course the Marine Corps. Space Force somehow is in there, but there's a whole different initiation to get into that club. Anyways, so yeah, it's a commitment to something that you've never done physically as well as mental. Um, so you'll be in a place that is very uncomfortable initially. That is something that I think should be scripted into everybody's thought process as you're looking into the militaries. It's going to get uncomfortable quick. The learning curve for a lot of different things is really really steep for majority of your one career. Two, initially, that like boot camp, the learning curve is very steep, and it sucks too because it's the one place that is appropriate. I don't want to say hazing. All right, hazing's a bad thing. Don't haze, but it's the one point or one place in your whole entire career where a lot of different things from a physical standpoint can be taken to a different place when it comes to enforcing habits. IT is what they call it, incentive training. If you mess up, you're going to get this incentive training, and it can be crazy. Like you can do a certain amount of push ups, a certain amount of air squats, burpees within a very closed amount of time, and do that until everything in your body is just sweating, including your hair follicles. So learning curve is very steep. You'll have to accept that you're probably not enough, which is fine because that's what boot camp is designed for. Is designed to break you down, build you back up. Learning curve on that end is very steep. That you have to overcome the fact that you're just a nobody. Like you can be a star football player, D1 candidate, and then you get to boot camp and you're fucking nobody. Be okay with that. Like just suck it up because everybody is there with you and you're not there to be the shining star. If you could become a shining star, that could be a bad thing too, because now everybody knows your name from every drill instructor on the depot. Like, they will find you. All right. So from a mental standpoint, it is very taxing initially, but I think I like to refer to this as like the stress rubber band. For a lot of college students out there, like the biggest stress factor that you'll have is, I know the biggest stress factor that you'll have is turning in an assignment, right? Like, that's not a big deal. There's a lot of research that you can look. There's a lot of things that you can overcome with the internet now. You don't even have to go to a library to study at this point. You can just be in front of your computer, your laptop, go to a Starbucks, open that laptop up, and find every information known to man about a topic. It's very easy to get paper done. Hell, I got a degree from University of Arizona. Believe that. But it's mentally taxing in the military. In the stress rubber band, it's like this. You first get in, it's about like this. It breaks. It stress will stretch it out, but breaks. I think what the military does really well is it takes that stress rubber band, it stretches it out, and in times that it does break, what they'll do is they'll give you a new one, and that one's a little bit longer, and pretty soon, like, that stress rubber band just starts getting wider and wider and wider, and then you realize that what's used to stress you out in boot camp might have been the funnest time of your life, boy. Like, that's crazy to think that. That's like a psychotic thinking, but that's what ends up happening in college. I hear these college stories. Now, mind you, I have a degree. I got a degree while in the military, so it's not like it's a foreign concept to do a lot of things at one time. I don't think I would have thought about doing this if it wasn't for the amount of things that I went through prior. Like, college to me was so easy. I was in Huntington Beach area going to college, doing the Marine Corps, going to parties on the weekend, still turning in my homework and whatnot on a daily basis, and was able to graduate in 3 years. So it's very possible to do it at the same time. And I think it due in part to amount of stress that I was able to handle. So if you're not like into that lifestyle where a large quantity of stress initially, right? Initially, boot camp is just gonna boom, punch you in the face, and you're gonna have to wake the fuck up. But if you stick with it, right? You stick with it, you can overcome a lot of things, and it becomes so easy. Like, you get out of the military. Um, I'm out now, obviously. Look at my face, look at my hair. I'm out. And as I am navigating the streets of the civilian community, I'm seeing a lot of people stressed out, and I'm not stressed about a lot of different things or anything for this matter, but they are stressing over the little things. And I think I attribute that to the fact that they have not had the close circuit training of taking that stress rubber band and just stretching it out and seeing when it pops, how it pops. A lot of us military folk know exactly what stresses us out, how much of it we can handle before things pop. We know how to take ourselves out of circulation when it comes to a large quantity of stress being introduced to an environment. We just know how to handle a lot of stuff. So if that is something that you don't want to get into, don't want to do, yeah, man, military is not for you, man. Push on. Anyways, why I joined? I joined because I lived in Portland, Oregon area. I want to get out of here. I moved back, obviously, but I wanted to get out of here, explore something different, find out more about myself outside my comfort zone, and the military did that very well. I also wanted to get educated, not college, skip college, F college. Look, college in itself, the way it was supposed to be by design, it was supposed to be a higher learning institute, right? People from all walks of life were supposed to travel to this one area, and a lot of cross pollination with education of culture as well as how to do things were supposed to happen. But now the microcosm of the internet can alleviate a lot of that cross pollination, where you can just go to YouTube and learn everything. Like what you're doing right now, you're learning stuff about the military without actually joining the military or talking to a military person, military folk in person. That is something that college was supposed to be able to do. Now that there's so many institutions of higher learning in every major city, you're not really going out of your comfort zone at that point. So I got kids in LA going to USC. I got cats in Oregon going to University Oregon, Oregon State, cats in Florida going to Florida State. Like they're not going out of their comfort zone. So that in itself, to me, I didn't like that. I wanted to get as far away as possible from where I found my comfort level and explore different cultures, because that's how I felt I was going to learn more about not just myself, but other people, and be more accepting and understanding of people. So that's where I came from. Education to me was education beyond the means of a piece of paper. It was about getting worldly cultured, and I was able to do that. Man, my first duty, my first okay. First off, went to California. I found out there were people in 2003 that never met black people. Like I was in the shower with me and my boy. There's out of 120 some odd individuals, there was only two black people in the whole platoon, myself and this kid named Wilson. Wilson and I were taking a shower. This young cat was staring at us, trying to figure out what's going on. Like our bar soap wasn't working like his was. And it took some time for this young cat to get the huevos, so to speak, to approach us and talk about what he was thinking. But he walked up to us and was like, yo, y'all still dirty. I saw y'all scrubbing, but y'all still dirty. Even your towel was like, what's going on? Like your towel was clean, but y'all was wiping yourselves. What's going on? I was like, oh, hey, brother, like this is who we are. Like there's black people. Not all people, white people, like there's black people. So this was like, I learned right then and there, even in America, there's certain pockets where people aren't introduced to different cultures. And I thought that was dope experience. Like I was not even mad at the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I understood right away because I'm a young cat, I'm a black guy, met a lot of different cultures prior, lived in Philippines prior to joining the military. I understood like where he was coming from, trying to understand another person from another walk of life. Right then and there, I understood like this is what I wanted. I wanted to interact with different cultures and figure things out. You know, I learned how to smoke meats and do grilling. I learned how to grill from my man Black, this cat that I was in Okinawa with. He was always on the grill, and I try to like. I watched them closely, like, yo, this is how they do. This is how Texas does it. This is how Texas cooks their meats. And then I got more curious on the idea of smoking meats, and then that grew into a whole different thing. But what I'm trying to say is like if I stayed in Portland, Oregon, went to University Oregon, played football at University Oregon, became a Duck, I would never have met the different walks of life. I would not be the person I am today. I would not be as understanding, as calm as I am when things happen around me. I'm able to be the person I am, the person I want to be, because I got out of my comfort zone. I got out of Portland, Oregon. So yeah, financial stability is another thing, man. Like it's good to know that you can blow your paycheck on the first or the second, rather, because you're gonna get paid on the first, you're gonna get paid on the 15th. You can blow it on the second, you can blow it on the 16th. For a young cat, you have a place that you can go to that is like the cafeteria where you have food all the time. You get at least 3 meals a day. Certain bases, like I was at Miramar for my second duty station, and you can get breakfast from like 5:30 to 7 or 8. It was a pretty big window. And then at 9 to 10, they had another window where you can pick up pizzas and sandwiches. And then from 11 to 1, you had lunch. And then they had another time slot from 3 to 4 where you can pick up more sandwiches and pizzas. And then from like 4:30 to 6, there was another time when you can pick or where you can get dinner. And then there was another later. Like there was so much food just being handed out. I thought that was dope. And it comes out of your paycheck, first off, like 300 some odd dollars. But the amount of food that you can consume, like, bro, like skip the jump when it comes to what type of food you're eating. If you come from a broke down family, like the biggest meal of that week is going to be a Big Mac with some fries and a drink. I think the military is going to be something that you're going to be enthusiastic about when it comes to just your diet, what you're going to have for intake and food. So that was one thing that was made clear to me, is that in the military, not everybody prior has the opportunity or the means to get that meal, like 3 meals a day, 6 meals a day. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Miramar, that's pretty dope. Physical fitness is a real thing in the military. Every military branch has a physical fitness test that they had to adhere to. Not sure which one's more strenuous, but I think it's in different levels, man. Like we all do something different. I can't bash on like any other branch out there for having a less lengthy run than the Marine Corps. Marine Corps has 3 miles. You got to complete a certain amount of time. I wish it was only a mile because no one's running 3 miles in a combat environment. Okay, nowadays you're not, but back in the maybe back in the day. But physical fitness is big for everybody. So no matter which branch you join, you're going to have a physical fitness test that you have to do annually, some biannually, some quarterly. And then if you go to a different unit that is like physical fitness centric, like one of those special forces types, then there's a whole different level of physical fitness that you have to adhere to. But physical fitness, if you come from a place in your life where you were overweight or you were underweight, and you want to be a physical specimen that you see on IG as you're scrolling through and you're looking at all these motivational videos, you're like, I want to get huge, but I don't have a membership. I don't have food. I don't have the clothes. I don't have the motivation of people around me to keep me going if I break down. The military's for you, because at every military installation, there's a gym out there that you can get into. I think the best gym that I've ever gone to was in 29 Palms. Yes, 29 Palms. I feel it has the best gym. It has a better gym than Gold's Gym, 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness put together. All right. It looks like an NFL combine ready type gym. Like this is where NFL cats would want to go to. It's one of the few places that I've ever gone that had a specific equipment that is designed for you to accelerate from not to like 30 miles an hour. Like those pieces of equipment are like 15 to 30 grand. And they have one of those. Not every private gym has, like, that's a very specific thing that this gym has in 29 Palms that no other gym in Southern California has unless you're a professional level athlete. That's freaking cool. Also, their chow hall is good. Chow hall is a cafeteria, by the way, if you're civilian, you're watching this, trying to figure out your life. Become what you want to be at some point. I want to be just a cool ass dude, man. A cool ass dude that whenever I have kids, my kids will look at me and be like, damn, he's a cool ass dude. And that's one of the reasons why I joined is I want to be a cool ass dad. And like initially didn't happen like that because I didn't have kids till my late 30s, but I did eventually, and look where I'm at. Like it's dope as shit. My kids don't stress me out. Now, I see other people getting stressed out about their kids. I got a 1.5 and a 3, and I see them getting stressed out all the time about shit that I'm just like, bro, that's just the way it is. You know what's funny is my daughter will say, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens. She falls down. Like she fell down one time. She was crying. I'm like, baby girl, it's okay. That happens. And now when things happen to her that is out of her control, she's crying. She'll look at me and say, Dad, it happens. And I'm like, yes, girl, that's what I'm talking about. So I think from a standpoint of one, being able to handle stress, more worldly, cultured, like I can handle a lot of different things, and being a dope ass dad is probably the best job in the world. I feel like I'm built to be a dad now more than ever. And that's one of the reasons why I got out, so I can be an even more involved dad. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I joined. And the best thing about the military, I think you get like an additional family. If you come from a broke down family, you barely see your dad. Your dad don't even dad. Your mom don't even mom. You got brothers and sisters who are always arguing and fighting. Like you get into the military, it was very rare for me to argue and have a heated discussion that didn't end with like a handshake or fist bump or a hug. Like bros be bros. You know what I'm saying? Like we argue about dumb shit all the time. But in the military, that happens. I would say it happens often, but it's out of love. It's out of love because at this point, you both are alpha as AF. Like there's a lot of cats who join the military who might be a Zulu, like your personality is way the fuck down there. You join the military and you start off being shy, but this new family that you got, if you hang around a bunch of alpha cats, you're going to become alpha. You know what I'm saying? If you can be, what I learned in the military is you can be alpha as fuck, right? You can be alpha as fuck, watch anime, love cars, love motorcycles, probably love to drink, physical fitness, gym time all the time, read books, be a financial, not guru, but be financial savvy or at least ask questions, get educated. Like you can be all this shit. You can be a nerd, but still be dope as fuck and people accept you. You know what I'm saying? I think this is one like microcosm of life in the military as being one of the best things about the military. It says everybody is so multicultural once you get in that it's hard not to just love people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard not to just love people and be understanding of people where they're coming from. So I think that's dope about being in the military. Is like your extended family, I think in some cases become closer than your actual family. Travel, right? I told you I want to get out of Portland. Portland's dope, man. Portland's dope. I was here in 2020 March timeframe when COVID hit. Everything shut down in the nation. There were so many riots. Like Portland, Oregon became something on a map as a place that is recognized for having so many different like festivals regarding, hey, f that, f this, fight the power, like so many different riots and causes. It was crazy. People were breaking into Nike, people breaking into Louis Vuitton. Did I say Louis Vuitton? Apple, and taking all their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Portland was on the brink of destruction, boy. And then I come back now and I'm seeing like, oh, on top of that, the governor at the time said, you know what? Bump all that shit about hardcore drugs. It's no more a criminal act than it is anything else. You're gonna get $250 fine if you get caught doing fentanyl on the streets, or you're doing like meth on the streets or cocaine on the streets. It's just $250 fine. Or if you don't pay that, you go to court and this, that, and the other. You go anywhere else, man, you're going to jail. Anyways, so I was here for all that. Saw what the worst of the worst of Portland, Oregon looks like. Came back. It looks dope as shit. I thought that was dope. But I got to travel outside of Portland, right? So I've been to New Orleans. I can tell you right now, no matter where you're from, the best food, the best festivals and food, New York ain't it. I'm telling you, they might have pizza, but they ain't got no gumbo, jambalaya. They ain't got no grits. They ain't got no shred. They ain't got no oyster. Boy, man, I'm telling you, New Orleans is the spot. If you've never been and you want to have a great time, I'm telling you, New Orleans is the spot. I don't care where you're from. So that's one place I recommend to anybody more than Vegas, more than New York. If you want to just have a turn up, go to New Orleans. Never have gone there if I was stuck in Portland. I also been to pretty much everything on the Pacific Ocean, from Japan, India, like all over that, Thailand, all over that. I've been to, of course, Middle East because you know. But yeah, I got to travel, man. You go places. Stability, housing, pay, healthcare. Let me tell you about the best things regarding military when it comes to stability is that you have an idea of when you are going to go somewhere, there's going to be a house there at some point for you, and you're going to have your paychecks. I said first and the 15th. So those are like the blanket of security that if you come from a place where you never had, 2 cents to a dime or a nickel in your pocket, I'm telling you, the military is not a bad idea as long as you can pass that ASVAB. Healthcare, there's comfort in having healthcare. I'm telling you that much. Like, how would you like to be the person that goes out, you're into extreme sports, but in the back of your head as a young kid, you're like, you don't think about this shit, man. You don't think about like, if I'm into BMX, I'm out there in the mountains and crushing it. I'm gonna break my wrist, my arm, my leg, or something breaks, and then your parents in the back of their head are like, God damn, man, I'm gonna pay for all this. Like being in the military, like I was in that position where I was breaking things all the time, man. Bro, I broke my wrist, I broke like a piece of my jaw. Never had to pay a cent in my whole 20-year career of breaking bones or getting ill sick, like that's comfort, and that's comfort level that I don't think a lot of people in the civilian community have. And I am gracious enough to have gone 20 years, and then I can continue that level of care. So I did a full 20, man. Full 20, boy. So there's a level of care that I I would not have had, or I would not have currently if I didn't join. I did 20. You don't have to do 20, but if you do 4, there's a lot of things you can take advantage of. Even if you're like a reservist, there's a lot of things you can take advantage of. Man, there's a lot of cats out there in the reserves that I heard about them having kids. Like the wife got pregnant, they got pregnant, they had kids. It only cost them like $100, and that was for the food, for like that. Hey, here you go, you made it. You're a parent. Here's your food. I paid the same exact thing for the food. I've had 2 kids, paid 0 cents. Like that's crazy. Each one of those pregnancies is like 15 to 20 grand. Didn't have to pay a cent. You learn to lead, so that's a good thing about being in the military. Is you learn to lead. Not a lot of people have an opportunity to lead. You can be a straight up nerd, bro. Straight up nerd, working on computers, data analysis type guy, and at some point you're gonna have to lead individuals. A lot of the places that I'm interviewing for is the like they're taking comfort knowing like I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna eventually take over. That's just my personality at this point. I think that's a lot. There's a lot of similarities between me and a lot of individuals in the military. Is like when we get out after however many years, 4 years, 8 years, 12, 16, 20, like we're here to take over. Like we know how it looks like when it comes to being the responsible one. We know that showing up on time is a superpower. So best believe we're going to show up on time every time for no other reason than that's just the habits that we have. So I take comfort knowing that I just know how to lead. Plain simple, I just know how to lead. It's a trait of mine. I can't help it. You learn, all right, as a leader. As a leader, when you initially get in, you might be a nobody, but at some point, you're going to have more responsibility than some 30-year-old. So as a 19-year-old, you're probably going to have more responsibility as a 20-year-old, or not 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, which is like a foreign away concept. Only the military, all right? I'm telling you right now, only the military will give you this much responsibility. Only the military will give an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old the responsibility to look over secret stuff that no one else that is 30 years old will ever want to know or comprehend or think that they will be able to look at. Only the military will give a 21-year-old the responsibility to look over millions of dollars of assets. Like that is freaking crazy. You have like 21, 23, 24-year olds who are working on $1 million worth of planes, munitions, and that is like, for them, that's just like the daily life. You explain that same exact level of responsibility to a 30-year-old, and they might not comprehend how big of a shuffle you're making, how many different balls of crystals you're juggling at the same time, and none of them can drop. That is crazy. It's absurd to me to think how much responsibility the military has. And I freaking love it. Education is free, by the way. Okay, so that's another thing that's good about the military. Education is free. You have tuition assistance. You have your GI Bill when you get out. Education is free. I got mine. Yay, for free. Of course, it really isn't free because you are giving up some liberties as a military individual. Can't do weed. Can't do crack. You can't just outright do crack and weed. You know what I'm saying? So you are giving up some liberties that if you used to do it, you are giving up that. But free education is dope, man. You get all crazy certs. If you're in like cats will bash about drivers, those operators who are operating big vehicles, the 7 tons or whatever vehicle variant that they have, they'll get bashed on. But it's like, bro, you don't know, but these guys have like CDL license pending, and when they get out, if they go get themselves a trailer and a truck, they can be making $100,000 a year easy at the level of comfort of them doing it on their own pace. That is crazy. Like name me another place where you can get all these different experiences, and then at the end of the day, when you do get out, there's a lot of transferable skills. However, I will say the caveat to that idea is that you do have to do the work, right? It's not just given to you initially. You do have to do the work. But once you get like in the swing of things, it's real easy to be recognized that you're a responsible one. A lot of guys like myself who are in leadership positions at the time will give you the opportunity to go get those certs, especially if you voiced it. So if you're out there and you're currently in the military and you're watching this, voice your opinion about getting higher education or getting a cert. Good chance that your leadership will probably let you if you are not just out there dinking around. And if you are not in the military and you want to get some certifications, you want to get like before you get certifications, I don't know, I'm not sure if you know, but you have to be pretty proficient at doing what that certification entails. So think about that. Like if you want to get into cyber anything, you have to have a level of experience with that. I'm telling you right now, I came from DC area. I'm telling you right now, I'm coming from DC area. There are so many cybersecurity jobs out there open that they're going to the military and literally throwing bonuses at them to, hey, bring your certifications over here and your experience because you do the offense and defense as a military guy. You know what it looks like. Come over here, play with us. Here's some more money. So, I mean, that's dope. Like I've seen it firsthand. My boy got hired for a really, really good job in DC area. And it was just like that. Like he announced he was getting out. He was in the communications intel field. They hit him up. Hey, you have these certs? Yes, I do. You have 12 years of experience. Bet. Come here. So like education, the experience, education, certifications, all that is going to be free, but you do have to put in the work. It's not just going to be given to you. Now, at the end of the day, I got to ask myself, was it worth it? I think it was worth it. I think it was worth it. I think like 20 years is a long time, guys. 20 years is a long time to do anything, but I think like it's worth it. Like there's a level of sacrifice you have to make. If you come in, you're 18, by the time you're 19 and 20, let's say you messed around, had a kid, I think there's a level of difficulty initially juggling all that with your relationship with the girl, the boy, and also to be a parent, and then there's work. Like that's a lot to juggle as a young cat, but I don't think you'd be in a better environment to have the certain privileges and opportunities you've had. Because me being a boss once upon a time, I had cats that were in that situation, and I was understanding enough to I was understanding enough to know, like, dude, I can't, like, it ain't right what I'm gonna do with your hours. So I'm gonna shift it here and there so it's more practical for you to be a better husband, wife, to you be a better husband, wife, parent. And then that saved probably a lot of individuals a lot of headaches. And I know a lot of these cats that I worked with that type of situation end up re-enlisting because like I did that for them, right? And it was the right thing to do. I didn't have to, but it's the right thing to do. And now they can in turn do that for somebody else. So there's like that relationship that you build over time with everybody, that the right thing to do when no one's watching, when it's the hardest thing to do, you do it. And you can't get that sort of practice anywhere else outside of the military because you're going to be challenged all the time to do the right thing, even though it's the hardest thing to do. I love that part about the military when it comes to the level of understanding. I will also say there are some dicks out there. There's some fucking dicks. They should be fired. They should, like those old mother lovers out there, fire yourself. Get out. It's time to get out, man. Like you have no idea what sort of pressure and what sort of things that these kids are hiding in their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to get out. It ain't right what you're doing to these young cats or old cats. It ain't right that the level of power that you have should ever be exerted or be expressed. It's time for you to get out. But for majority of the individuals in the military, I will say that there are some great individuals out there who will definitely like go above and beyond and look out for you. Granted, if you get a DUI, like you can't be like you can't fight that. But if you are wrongly accused, man, I'm telling you, there's some ride or die leadership out there who will stand by you, even if you do mess up because of the record that you had and the level of expertise that you had to look out for you. They'll do everything they can to give you resources. There's a level of care and understanding that the military has that I think the civilian community does not have. Again, would I do this again? 20 years is a long time. I couldn't have pictured another like my whole dream was to be Barry Sanders. I prayed to God every day when I was a youngster that I would be 5'8". I got to 5'7". I knew it wasn't in the cards. God said that's too much power. 1 inch down, boom. So I joined the military. You know, I was going to go to University of Oregon full ride scholarship down the street. That wasn't in my cards because I saw what happened during my visit, and I was like, yo, I can't, like my body can't handle all that. numb, let alone my mental capacity to do what you guys do on a daily basis, as well as party, because that's part of the job over there at the time. I wasn't gonna be able to handle that. But the military was able to shape me in a way that I wanted to become anyway. And that was dope. And it did it in a quick turnaround time. And I have made us some real lasting, long time friends. There's cats that I met 19 years ago that I still talk to this day on a daily. There's cats that I met 18, 17, 16, 15 years ago that I still talk to on a daily. I think that's dope. And I think it's dope. Like there's open door policy. You know what I'm saying? Like these cats end up in Portland, Oregon. Sometime they want to come through. Bet if I got a free bed, if I got not a free bed, but if I got a bed, no one's sleeping in it. Come through, boy. Like this is yours. Come through, girl. This is yours. Like there's that level of trust and belief in each other that I don't think any organization out there really has other than the military. So I could not be more happy with the idea of me having joined the military. And I'll do it again. So if you watch this whole entire thing, you're like, what the fuck? Like you can always go back and watch this whole entire thing, but I'll let you know right now, military ain't easy initially, but it does get easier. It's oversimplified. I'll tell you that much. Military is oversimplified for anybody from all walks of life to like gain the expertise and knowledge that they need to do their job. If you're coming into the military and your whole identity is to become part of the Navy SEALs, to become a Marine sniper, a Marine MARSOC, or airman something something, shoot, man, get into the organization first. Join, and you can do that shit later. Find yourself. Here's one thing I will echo and advocate for you cats out there who are thinking like, yo, I'm joining the fucking Rangers. Go in with the idea that you need to have a trained skill that in the event that you do get out after 4 years is going to be a relevant thing in the future. So I'd always advocate for cats get into communications. I have interviewed for a lot of logistical and supply jobs lately, and I'm telling you, the experience I've had with logistics and supply, oh boy, it separates me from the pack. I'm telling you that much. These cats that I interviewed with, they had no clue what I was talking about when it comes to inventory and control efforts and this, that, and the other, logistics, how to coordinate all that with outside entities and stakeholders. Like, boom, like all those conversations. Would not have known that if I wasn't involved in that. I am in the maintenance community field, so like I'm able to speak the language of maintenance, safety. Like there's a lot of jobs out there for me to do. So when you're looking into these jobs and all you're thinking about is like, I want to be fucking ranger. Like, oh, hold on, young thug. Like look into something that's relevant in case you do get out after 4 years, because like things happen as you're going through training. You might break. Like not everybody's Superman. Even Superman was allergic to kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? Like things happen. So that is the one advice I give is if you are looking into the military and you're thinking like, I want to be a fucking blah blah blah, like, got it, man. Look into something that's gonna help you in the future if you do get out, and you're gonna love doing for a really long time. And I'll tell you this much too: like, no matter what you do in the military, at some point, if you keep on re-enlisting, you stay in long enough, you're probably not gonna be doing it. So there is that side of the fence that no one talks about. Is like, look, I came in to be a maintainer. I came in to do the job of fixing trucks. I came in like I know she went into a recruiter's office and I told him like I want to fix things that have engines with wheels that don't fly, which is for the Marine Corps motor T mechanic, motor transportation mechanic. I came in to do that, but I did that so well that at some point I was given the level of responsibility where I was overseeing different processes. And by the time I completed my 20 years, like it was rare for me to turn wrenches with on a daily. Like I would go out there, I would turn wrenches here and there, but that wasn't like my job. I became a coach. I became a teacher. I became a planner. Like things evolve more than what it was when I initially came in. So there's that thing to think about if you stay in long enough. Like initially you're gonna get real proficient at your job. But if you're so proficient at it, leadership recognizes game. They'll put you in a position where you can lead and teach, coach, and all that. Anyways, that's my 2 cents about the military. I didn't want to take up 40 minutes of your time, but I did if you went through the whole entire thing. If you got questions, um, relevant questions. I don't do politics. I don't care about politics. I might become politics. Who knows? Put it in the comments. I'll answer them shits. Anyways, deuces.